This is just gonna be like a 5-10 minute video of all that about. But it's a message I want to pass across to all Nigerians, all citizens who are under attack, particularly in Yoruba land. You need to do something. Number one task is to defend your life. Yes. Now, it is no longer about you alone defending yourself. You can't defend yourself alone when your community is under attack. This terror people, this Fulani bandits, this Boko Haram terrorists, they are coming en masse and collectively attacking communities. Look at what happened in Kwara State. The king's palace was burnt down. Even though I'm sure the king has his own security and everything else, despite, you can see that was no match for what he went through. He was attacked. They've abducted some women and children. These guys are heartless. 46 women, 46 children and teachers who are abducted in Oyo State and countless other places. There's, people were killed in churches, 3 were killed in churches. What is that telling you? What is that telling you? That is telling you that the system has broken down. There is no longer law and order. If you are still trying to operate as though that everything is fine, you can defend yourself, you are very much mistaken. These people come en masse, and the system is simply not there protecting you. Yes, there are some Amotekun groups here and there. There are, some Ijaekun, Iruekun and all that stuff trying to come up. But there is no coordinated plan by the system to protect your lives. So when they say, what does Nigeria mean when you don't have any protection? And Nigeria means nothing. Nigeria is not protecting your lives. So the best thing is, whatever community you are in right now, organize yourselves. Number one, organize yourselves. Get yourselves into groups. Defend your property. Defend your life, your property, and your community. Check who comes in, who comes out, by any means necessary. The government is saying, we mustn't carry arms. The government is telling the local people, don't carry arms, don't carry anything, don't do this, don't break the law. But the terrorists are walking around, they don't have any regard for any of the government laws. They don't care about the government laws. They are making their own laws. They're coming to your communities. Greetings and welcome. You're listening to Citizen Awa, the platform where we speak truth power. Please help us share this broadcast. Give us a thumbs up. Thank you. So they're not giving you, let me see, I'm trying to read the words here. Hello, hi, everybody. Greetings and thank you for joining. You're listening to Citizen Awa, the platform where we speak truth to power. So the government is not giving you any support. They're not protecting you. As you're coming in, give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Please share the broadcast. You are listening to Citizen Awa, the platform where we speak truth to power. Beg your pardon. I have a bit of frog in my throat. Now, so right now, as we speak, there is insecurity across the whole of Nigeria. So your number one task is to stay alive. Now, you can no longer stay alive by just defending yourself. No, you have to do it you have to be part of a vigilante group in your community. You have to defend that life by working together collectively. By any means necessary. Knives, guns, spiritual. If you have spiritual powers, now is the time to come together as a community to use it. Many of our communities, and there's a state in Nigeria, Kwara State, over 30 villages have been overrun. Over 30 villages in Kwara State has been overrun. The people have run. The people have left that state. They've fled the state because there is no security, no safety, and there is no police or army to defend them. But then they're telling you to believe in one Nigeria. How does that work? One Nigeria is not defending your life. So we are saying right now, in your community, don't run from your community, because there are currently now, we are hearing that there are over 2 million people no, 1.3 million people displaced in the middle belt because of this insecurity. 1.3 million. At what point does this become a state of emergency? When you have 1.3 million people displaced and there is no clear, consistent effort across the whole nation to address this issue. So there is a state of insecurity. It may not be declared by the government, but people are being killed every day. As I speak to you, there are people are being attacked in villages by these terrorists, and they're bold. They're doing videos on camera. They're doing videos of them abducting people, getting money, and they're showing the money on TikTok. They're showing it on TikTok. They're going around with all of this bravado. So the question is, do we have a security? Do we have an army to defend your community? We don't. So this is why I'm saying, for your safety in your community, you cannot go around in isolation any longer. You need to make sure that your community, that every one of you, with all the tools you have in your possession, whatever you have in your possession, if you get possession of things to defend yourselves, things, I don't have to explain more. Whatever you can to defend yourself against attacks in your community. You have a right to defend your community, because as far as in the Constitution, Section 24B says that you have the right to defend Nigeria. Now, your community is part of Nigeria. And if these people are coming in, what they're doing is they're destroying your community. They burnt the king's place. That is a destruction. And we have the power as citizens to come together collectively, where the military and the army have clearly failed to defend ourselves by any means necessary. And that's all I'm saying to you. Please, as you're coming, give us a thumbs up, help us with more people. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I appreciate you. I just wanted to come out and say this, and I'm going to be doing more programs. Every day I'm watching now in Nigeria, and I'm seeing that there's destruction, there's abduction, there's killings, there's killings of people, defenseless people by terrorists. And there is no plan. I don't see a clear, coherent plan by the government to tackle these terrorists, to make the land secure for the people. But unfortunately, I'm seeing the government talking about elections. They're talking about elections, voting. Well, who is going to vote? Who is going to vote? God. Who is going to vote? Vote for what? When your life is at stake, who will have time to vote? The lives of the people in these communities are at stake. The first job of the government, at the very least, is to make sure there's security. If you're going to talk about of voting, then what are the people? If you're not safe, what's the point of your vote? If you're not safe, what's the point of your voting for anybody? Oh, vote for a party. But vote for what? When your life is taken, when your community is destroyed, what are you voting for? It doesn't make sense. So I believe that the people now in your community, your job, your first task is to stay alive in your community, to make sure your community is not destroyed. Because when these people come to communities, they destroy, they burn houses, because what they're doing is, unfortunately, they are working for the colonials. The colonials are trying to make sure that there are areas that are cleared. There is no trace of people living there, and they will have come over and take it over as a barren land to exploit resources. And the Nigerian government will do nothing about that because they don't even know. So this is what is going on. And we need our people to be aware. I've been talking about this for a long time, about defending ourselves, about coming together collectively. Unfortunately, if you are not in your community, if you cannot stay in a community, then there is no point. If you cannot stay safe in your community, then what's the point of being a citizen? And this is why we have been advocating strongly that it's time for Yoruba nation to stand on its own. We've been advocating, but of course, clearly we know that the system and everything that is against that system. But now, the one thing I will say about Tinubu government is that they've put forward the regional devolution of powers, and that's probably the way to go, because there are some people there are the Fulanis are intent on taking over land. And it's not even for their benefit. It is for the colonials, because many of these Fulani terrorists, they are being funded by colonials, because the areas in which they actually are targeting are areas where there is a high mineral resources. That is what is going on in Nigeria right now. The areas where these terrorists are targeting are areas of high concentration of mineral resources. And this is the same plan across the whole of Africa. They may use biological warfare, they may use religion, they may use, clever different ploys, different tactics. They will try to make you. I mean, in South Africa, they're using, don't allow your fellow blacks to work in your country, keep them out. And meanwhile, 73% of the farmland is still in the hands of the colonizers. This is all about psychologically taking you to separating you from your land. And what we have to understand is that even the Fulani terrorists are proxies. They are proxies of the colonials. And they are being used to destabilize Africa because they're coming for the resources. And we have, as a people, have to make our people aware. Please, as you're coming in, give us a thumbs up, share this broadcast, help us with more people. So please, in your community right now, you have to defend yourself. Defend yourself, form vigilante groups. Don't do it on your own. When there are 40, 50 people coming into your community, defending yourself is meaningless. Because you can say you have a gun. They will wait. They'll wait for you. They'll wait for you to run out of whatever you have. And then they'll come for you. It is better you form or be part of a vigilante group. So you have the right to defend your community. You have that right. Because if you are going to be many, like I said, 1.2 million people have been displaced now in Nigeria. And that is even a conservative estimate. Some people are saying that it's even as high as 6, maybe 7 million, maybe 10 million. But it's been hidden because it is not being openly spoken about. So, platforms like ours, we're not here to try and, we're not spreading rumors. We're working on the facts as we're hearing it. Because when communities are being attacked, and for those of you going to churches, and if you're saying you're going to church and pray, or to a mosque and pray, that God will come and intervene. No God. Listen, let me be very clear. I want you to understand, listen real good. No Jesus Christ is going to appear from the sky to help you. No Allah is going to appear from anywhere to save you. Let me give an example why. The king of that Kwara State place, Ifakura, I think it's called. I can't remember the name of the community. The king is a Muslim. The king's name is Abdurrahman Fabiyi, a Muslim. Despite the fact that he's a Muslim, the terrorists that came to attack him were Muslims. They didn't care. They don't care about whether or not that you're Muslim. They care about because he is a Yoruba man having connection to that land. They chased him off his land. So the king is no longer on his own land. He's having to be in another community somewhere away from his land. So this is about stripping you off your land. You need to understand, we have to be very, very clear. This is about stripping us off our land. And unless we come together as a community and tackle this will keep happening. Now, yes, we know that Ijekun is there. They're saying the government has given them the right to go into communities. How many communities are they going to defend? They can't take over unless they're given army. The fact of the matter is that even though they cannot be going to those communities without the support of the government in terms of logistical support from the army in those areas. So we need vigilante groups. Set up one in your community. Organize yourself. If you have men, however many, 20, 30, 40, and youths, set up vigilante groups right now. Let that be your job right now. Protect your farmland, because they are trying to make sure that they starve the community. Their role is these terrorists, they go and that's why they're sending the cows. First, they're sending the cows to destroy the crops. Once they destroy the crops, any farmer they see, attack them. Then once they do that, they now go into the community. This is a strategy that they're doing. This is a strategic plan that they're doing. They starve you of being able to feed yourselves. Then they make sure that now they can now come in and destroy your property, taking any leave so that there's no traces of any people on that place. They want to try and make that place a virgin land and they can lay claim. But we have the records. That remains Yoruba land. The southwestern Nigeria is still intact. And this is why we are calling for the government of Nigeria to continue in its effort to make sure that we have regional devolution of powers. That is the other side of the things. We must have regional devolution of powers so that Yoruba land is intact, Igbo land intact, Biafra, Middle Belt, and of course the North. Because what is going on clearly is these terrorists that are being funded by people that are intent on destroying and destabilizing the nation so they can come and take over the resources. This is about taking your resources, and we have to be very, very clear about that. So please, you're watching this broadcast, please share, help us reach more people, give us a thumbs up. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. So defend yourself in your community by setting up vigilante groups right now. That is what you must do. All the communities who are under attack in Ogun State, in Oyo State, in parts of Lagos, people have been abducted. There's a lady who has been asked to pay 100 million naira, 100 million naira for the people, for his family, for the family members that have been abducted. 2 women, I think 2 or 3 women have been abducted by these terrorists, and they're being beaten on screen. And the government is doing nothing. Instead, why is it that the people are having to pay when the government has failed to provide security? The government of Nigeria should be the ones responsible for any ransom whatsoever, because it is their job to provide safety and security. Section 14(2)(b) states that it shall be the primary purpose of government to provide safety and security. Section 14(2)(b) of the Nigerian Constitution. So why is it that the people are being forced to pay this money? The government should be intervening and saying, no, okay, look, we will pay this money. Let's have the discussion. And that's a way for them to now, they should be engaging with the terrorists. They shouldn't be left to the family. This is horrifying. I mean, people are being abducted every day. People are being killed every day. And then we say there's a government. When the people are not safe, of what use is a government? When they're saying they're the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what is government? Government is the priority, the singular priority of the government is to provide safety and security. That's a singular priority of the government. They have to provide that. And they have patently failed in providing that. So you as a member of that society right now, your number one job is to recognize that there is no safety nor security. You have to provide that for your community. That is your number one task right now. When whole communities are being chased away from their land and the government is doing nothing about it, they're not protecting you. They're not taking you back to that land and taking away those terrorists. Those places now, 30 communities, people have literally left. It's empty because they fled from the attacks from the terrorists. And the terrorists know they can do this because the government is not sending in the military to take over that land and put the people back into their property. There's no safety, no security. So you have to provide that in your own community. And the thing is, we need to understand the psychology of these terrorists. Once they come to a community, they work on the basis of spreading fear. Once they put fear in the community, they've got you. When you fight back, they are very afraid. But this is what the government is not doing. They're not working on helping vigilante groups and supporting them with military to back them up in those communities. Every time the terrorist attacks, apparently we've had time and again, countless times, that the military, just before the attacks, the military always leaves the area. So it is like a coordinated attack by the military. The military always leave the area just before this terrorist attack. And this is not uncommon, unfortunately. This is why I'm saying defend your community collectively. Don't do it individually. Now, if you do it individually, you are putting yourself at risk. You need to be part of a vigilante group and defend your community, because what they're doing is they're destroying the community. They don't want to leave any traces of people living, having direct contact with that soil. They want to make it barren. And then what they've been doing in some communities is suddenly new houses start springing up. They destroy the old ones. And the people who are going to be put there are going to be the families of these terrorists. And that is what is going on. So people are not telling you this, but we are coming to expose this. So please do not be quiet. Now, if you are already in that community, your number one task is how to defend that community. That must be your number one priority. But whatever business you have, whatever uh, 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 things that you're doing in that place will become secondary to your existence. Your existence is the primary focus right now. Your survival. The survival of not only yourself, but your community. The government has clearly failed in providing safety and security. So you have to do that. And if once the government fails in providing safety and security for you, you have to save yourself by any means necessary in your community. And that means coming together as a vigilante group, working collectively. You need to have people who are going to be able to work in different areas. People who will be, I don't want to talk too much about what you need to do as a vigilante on here, but just please set something up. I need you to begin to look at this yourself. Take this responsibility on. This is where it is so important that we spread information. And in our local languages, we need to make people aware that that the government is not there to protect them. A lot of people are begging. They say, the government, please come and help us. They're not there to help you. They're only there the government, those in government you can now see, their purpose has been always to come and just take your money, the money meant for your roads, your water, your light, your safety, your security. They go and spend it on women. They don't care about your safety or your security. It is evident now. Now that you're under attack, where are the senators? The senators in those 30 communities, House of Reps, the Senator, House of Reps, State House of Assembly member, the local government chairman of those 30 governments, those 30 communities, where are they? They've gone. But no doubt they're still being paid. But meanwhile, that community has been displaced. This is what we are saying, that you need to create your own vigilante. And once you start that up, what that means now is that you are now taking control of your own situation. Because you cannot rely on any form of governance that is actually there to loot your resources, loot the wealth, the things that's meant to provide security. For example, yes, we know that the state police is something that's been planned. I understand all of that. But even up until now, the state government were apparently being given $2 million, equivalent of $2 million, 2.9 billion naira, which is something like 2 million pounds a month for security. Where's that money going? Yes, I understand that the government ultimate responsibility for safety and security really lies in the hands of the president, because the structures are not in place for the state government to be able to carry out that work. But they have the funds. Those funds now, they could be using it to fund a lot of vigilante groups right now. But unfortunately, those governors are not spending the money on security. I mean, how can you have 30 villages empty? I am going to go and do research on those villages, and I will come up with updates of the local government chairman, the state house assembly